What is going on YouTube? My name is Richie and I am here to bring you my irrelevant thoughts on the KSI versus Logan Paul event. Now for starters, bear with me because there's a lot of YouTubers that fought in this event that I am not really too familiar with. And on top of that, I was also watching while I was at work. But I will say from what I saw, from top to bottom, was a very stacked and very action-packed event, so to speak. It was in my opinion, it was great. I'm gonna just say this right now. Kudos to everybody that prepared for this event and everything like that. From those who trained for 6 months to a year to like a week. I definitely give these people a lot of credit. That is the dream, to do something like that, something like this. It's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would love to be a part of it, but I am nowhere near of relevancy to be a part of it unless you want to hook your boy up. The FaZe Sensei match, I believe the other guy, his opponent, was named Overtflow, and FaZe originally had. Can I speak? Originally, FaZe originally had somebody else that he was supposed to fight, but then they dropped out. And then this guy was like, "Hey, yeah, you know what? I'll fight you. Why not?" And he trained and everything like that, and he did look pretty good in this fight. I'm not gonna lie. He definitely had some moments where, he looked good. However, FaZe Sensei is, well, it's in his name. He's a sensei. He teaches. That's what he does first. He's a martial artist. He's done kickboxing and MMA. You've seen a couple of his fights and everything like that on his YouTube channel. And he's just very devoted to the whole fighting and everything like that, just that art in general. And it was pretty cool to see him actually get his prediction win. He was going to go for, I believe it was like a third round knockout. He was going to, just hit him with like a body shot and he was going to go down. And that's essentially what happened. So I was very happy to see him win his fight. Raka Raka versus Scarce. I'm not familiar with Scarce. Two of my friends told me who he was. He's like a drama news guy or something like that. Cool. Apparently on commentary from like True Jordy and Joe Weller and the other guy, they explained how Scarce lost like 100 pounds for this, which is incredible. I saw a lot of people kind of shaming him online because of his body, but that's just what happens when you lose an excessive amount of weight so quickly. You're going to have that overlapping skin. That just doesn't go away. I'm sure there's surgery and other methods for that as well to get rid of that, but it happens. And you know what? If that is indeed true that he lost 100 pounds for this fight, then I give that man all the credit in the world. That is an incredible feat. That is difficult to do. And to be that disciplined all those months to the fight to get yourself in that shape. Granted, he wasn't big, he wasn't ripped or anything like that, but still, just that amount of hard work and dedication, all the respect for him in the world. Raka Raka looked good. I mean, those kids have always been in pretty good shape, but you can tell he was a lot more lean, a lot more muscular, and he knew what he was doing. They're both pretty crazy if you've seen their YouTube channel and some of the wrestling stuff that they've done as well, when he's like wrestled as Ronald McDonald. And he looked good. However, Scarce, he held in there. Like Raka Raka said, he had an iron chin. He did not know what to do to put this guy away. And hey, you know what? Again, kudos to him. He hung in there. He hung in there like a tick, and I got to give it to him. But ultimately, Raka Raka was given the win as deserved. He had a pretty heartfelt and emotional type speech, and gave some shameless plugs and everything like that. Which, by the way, speaking of shameless plugs, I'm gonna take this second to make sure you guys check the description. There were a couple other guys after that as well. I don't really remember. One of them was a pretty hard-hitting match. Like, all the rounds were really good. Like, these two guys were going at it. I probably should have done a little bit more research, but again, this is just an irrelevant opinion and that I want to share on the internet, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a couple of comments saying, like, who the heck are you? Nobody cares, etc., etc. Your mom gay, lol. I don't really care. They showed each other respect, and then afterwards, when True Jordy was, doing the ringside interview, the fighter who won called out Joe Weller. Joe Weller got very hyped, and he was like, "It's on." So, I guess, whatever next event, Joe Weller's going to have himself a fight like he originally intended to in this one. But his opponents, I believe he had 2 or 3, kind of dropped out at last second, but then they offered him the commentary role. Getting to commentary, there were a couple of points where I felt that it was a little bit shoddy. They were kind of joking too much, not really taking some of the stuff too seriously. But then again, they're not professional commentators, so they can't do that, play-by-play commentary and everything like that. With what was given and everything like that, especially towards, the latter matches, which I'll get into in a second. It was pretty substandard, to say the least. So Jake Paul versus Deji. Deji had a lot to prove. I guess so did Jake Paul. Kind of being dragged by some of the actions of his brother earlier in the year. It is what it is, standard YouTube beef and all that stuff, and drama when you're in the public eye, etc., etc. And Deji being the younger brother of KSI, kind of being in his shadow, blah, blah, blah. He's like very obnoxious and immature. Everybody knows. So both guys had a lot to prove. Jake Paul called for a first round knockout, and that did not happen. Deji definitely, I feel, proved a lot of his detractors wrong. And he also held in there like a tick. He didn't get to make it the full 6 rounds, but he made it to round 5 after his team threw in the towel, which I found bizarre. I found that crazy. I would have never expected that in a million years to ever happen, at least in this sort of like event or anything like that. Moving right along, Deji showed a lot of heart, a lot of determination. You could tell he worked hard, even though he started off, or seemed to have started off, a little bit shoddy and everything when he began his training. Kudos to him. I had us off to him, and then both guys showed each other respect afterwards and everything like that, which is always nice to see. And last but certainly not least was the KSI versus Logan Paul fight. And as we all know about the whole Suicide Forest video and everything like that, and if you've been catching up with podcasts and interviews, one for example was the sit-down interview with True Jordy and Logan Paul, and it kind of shed light on how Logan Paul is when he's not in the spotlight. He seemed like a lot more of a reserved sort of young man and everything like that. Hard to believe this dude is 2 years younger than me, and that dude is stacked. He looked absolutely ripped here in this fight. He's always been in shape. Again, he has the athletic background. He's done wrestling and all that stuff. It was very intense from start to finish. Logan definitely started off strong, got fatigued later on, and JJ was the one who really caught and held on to his second wind. And I gotta say, like, in retrospect, I was a little bit salty due to the fact that it was a draw. But obviously, like, KSI won by like 1 point via, it went to decision. And he still remains the champ. They're gonna do a rematch. They seem to kind of show each other respect, but there's still like those egos clashing. But there was still that level of sportsmanship, and even Logan afterwards gave KSI a thank you for allowing Logan to kind of take a step back from said spotlight and really just focus on himself and everything like that. And he says he hasn't redeemed himself yet, and he's still on the track of doing so. So, hopefully these 4 gentlemen kind of were served a bit of humble pie, so to speak, because, men are men. We have egos and everything like that, especially when it comes to combat sports. There's still that sportsmanship of like fighting, and who doesn't want to win? Nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to come in second. In retrospect, it was definitely the right call, because both men, I feel, showed just the same amount of tenacity and passion and fight and will, heart, determination, all those other cliche words. They both seem very equal, Logan, man, that dude, his reach and his speed for his size is incredible. And KSI was definitely much improved from the first event. So only time can tell, with the third outing, I'm sure. I don't know if there'll be more to come after that, but I mean, it seems to be doing pretty well. It's making YouTube money, I'm sure. It's making these people money. And I'm sure the sponsors and people who held the event are very happy as well, especially now that they charge $10 for this one as opposed to the last one being free. But it is what it is. So those are my irrelevant thoughts and opinions on the whole KSI versus Logan Paul event. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you didn't, I don't really care. You can suck it. I'll leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the decisions and everything like that. Let me know what you thought of who showed what amount of passion, if you earned any respect for anybody like that. Or if you don't want to say anything, that's totally fine. That works too. But be sure to drop a like, subscribe if you want, check out some of my other stuff. You can check out my film channel, The Red Planet Films, my gaming channel, Red Planet Gaming, and Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. all that good stuff. Got a Streamlabs donation link. I'm completely broke. I need money. I'm trying to get married soon and move out. So help me, please. I'm just doing this for views and likes. It should be pretty obvious. Everybody else is doing it. Why not hop on the bandwagon? I'm being honest.